I definitely recommend if you guys are spending a lot of money on food each month, a good rule of thumb is it's time to budget. What's good, YouTube? Okay, so today's video is going to be a fun one. You guys, I've been wanting to make this video for quite a while now. In today's video, I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how I do my budget. I started doing this budgeting method my last semester of college, and with this method, I was able to save about $9,000 in one semester. So I'm telling y'all, this thing actually works. I've always said that I'm a decent saver. I'm actually not that great at it, but I will say making a budget, building a budget really does help. So I'm gonna walk you guys through my budgeting method, what tips I recommend you guys follow in order to save money better while you're in college. And yeah, so I do my budget on the 1st of every single month. And so it is May 1st. So I'm gonna be walking you guys through my budget for May, just so you guys can get an understanding of how I actually do it on a month-to-month basis. So you guys can follow along with me as I go through my budget for May. So this is my budget. As you guys may be able to tell, I do my budget on Google Sheets. I know a lot of people use Excel, but I just prefer Google Sheets. Obviously, here you guys can see I have my entire budget for the year of 2020 laid out right here. But what I'll do is I'll actually go through in each month and I'll adjust this amount by what I actually expect that I'll be spending this month. So obviously my expenses stay pretty consistent from month to month, but at the beginning of each month, I usually will know if I have some other expenses coming up or if there's some extra things that I need to buy. So this section I only will edit at the 1st of every month. Then I'll actually go in and track how much I actually did spend. I'll go in and do that on a day-to-day basis, and I actually do it in these tabs down here. You guys can see this column is the estimated spend, and this column is the actual amount that I spent in that month. So in April, I obviously went over budget. That's how my budget is set up. The first thing I want to walk you guys through is the income section. If you guys are making a budget, I definitely recommend you guys first and foremost, look at how much money you are making. So for me, as you guys know, I worked a lot of side hustles when I was in college. So I do have my income broken down by each hustle that I work. So you guys know I did a lot of real estate. I also made money from YouTube when I was in college. I have Amazon. I did white out my Amazon column here just for the sake of this video because I just don't want to share how much I'm making, honestly. You guys can probably just do the math and figure it out if you want to do that. I do have it now reflecting like how I'm earning income now that I'm out of college, but obviously, you know, just make a category for each way that you earn money. Even if your parents give you a certain amount of money each month, put that in there as a section. You want to see everything laid out right in front of you. Obviously, if you guys are in college, then most of you probably do work hourly jobs, so it's a little bit easier to track your income with an hourly job. All you really need to do is just calculate how much you plan to work and then, you know, calculate your pay from there. I highly recommend at the beginning of each semester going through and making this budget right away and plugging in for each month. If you were to break down your financial aid check, how much you would be making each month. Definitely save you a lot in money because trust me y'all, I know how it is when that financial aid check comes in, you want to spend all of it. So do not get yourself in that position. Go ahead and make your budget as soon as you get your check and allocate it by month so that way you can see exactly how much you get to spend. I'm bringing him into the video because he's making a lot of noise. Do you want to get down? Do you want to get down? Oh my gosh, okay. So now the part that everyone hates is obviously the expense section of your budget. This is the part that's gonna really make you hate yourself, so just get ready for this. Before you even go ahead and try to estimate your expenses, I would definitely recommend that you guys go and look at your bank statements from the past 2 or maybe 3 months and look at how much money you spend on everything. If you don't regularly check your bank account, then this is gonna really suck for you. But I definitely recommend that you guys go and do this so you guys get a good, realistic idea of how much you're already spending on each expense. For me, as you guys can see, I break it down by first like my bills, like my actual bills. For utilities, I just went really conservative and put in $100 because I'd rather overestimate my expenses and underestimate my income, just so that if I have a lot left over, then that's great. I can adjust it from there. I think it's definitely a little bit harder to estimate monthly how much your spend is gonna be when you're in college. just because I know how it is when you're in college. Each month can look completely different, especially from summer to semester. Or, you know, for me, I had some months where I just spent a shit ton more than other months. But just do your best to get a rough estimate of how much you're spending on a month-to-month basis on a typical month. So now I'm going to be making my budget for the month of May and adjusting every single thing in this column. That's how I do my budget for each month. That's really all I do. And one of the most important things with your budget that you want to look at is your difference. So how much you have left over from your income minus your expenses. This is going to be really, really humbling. I'm telling y'all, this number is negative, which you guys can really see on my budget. I've had a negative number before. But at the end of the day, if the number is negative, then what that's telling you is obviously you're spending more than you are making, which means it's time to make adjustments. There's a lot of things that you're probably spending money on that are not necessary to be spent on. Certain things like rent, if you have to pay your own rent, or if you have to pay certain bills like books and tuition, those things are pretty much non-negotiable. So those things are gonna have to stay where they're at. So look at the non-negotiables first, and then keep those the same, and then look at the things that you can maybe adjust. So things like food, even though they are non-negotiable, you can definitely decrease your food spending. I think food spending is probably the number one thing that gets to all college students. I know that was the thing that would get me the most. I definitely recommend, if you guys are spending a lot of money on food each month, a good rule of thumb is only go out 2 times a week. I had to start doing that when I was in college because obviously I was going out to eat a lot, and it really made it hard for me to save money. So I definitely recommend, if you guys are spending a lot on food, try to limit yourself to only going out 2 times a week, and try to meal prep. Meal prep is really gonna help you save money. I definitely hate meal prepping. I hate cooking. I just don't ever feel like doing it. But for me, what really helped is getting into the habit of doing meal prepping every single Sunday. I wake up on a Sunday and I know that that's the day for me to meal prep. It's just a lot easier to do it when you build it into your routine rather than, you know, trying to just fit in time for it. So build it into your routine. Make sure you're meal prepping. Make sure you're not going out to eat, because I promise you it'll save y'all so much money. I'm telling y'all. Another thing that really helped me save money on food is I actually put my food budget onto another debit card separate from all my other expenses. So I actually opened up an account with this app called Capital, and that way I can see exactly how much I have to spend on food each month. I put about $350 on my Capital card for food for this month, and I only spent like $2 something because I still have like $115 left over, and that's for my April food budget. So I'm really proud of myself. It really helped me save money on food, because I think it's because I can see the number and I can see how much I'm spending. So I did really good with food this month. So I definitely recommend, do whatever it is that you have to do to cut down all of your expenses as much as possible. Even if your difference between your income and your expenses isn't negative, you still want to cut down your expenses as much as you can, because the more that you cut down your expenses, the more that can obviously go to your savings account. So that being said, when it comes to having a savings account, what I really recommend that you guys do, treat your savings like another bill. So how I treated my savings account in college is the exact same way that I treat my student loan payments now. It's a bill, it's a non-negotiable. At the end of the day, no matter what I want to spend money on, I have to throw my money into my savings first. So what I personally recommend is, at least at the very minimum, putting 25% of your paycheck into your savings account as soon as you get paid. What I did personally in college is I put, every single time I got paid for real estate, I put about half of that paycheck into my savings account. Now, as you guys know, I did have to pay my own rent in college, so if I was short, of course that was a non-negotiable. I had to put it there first. But any money I had left over would literally go straight into my savings account. So when you guys look here at my budget, you guys can see that I have a lot of money left over. And this is where it's really important. So like I said before, any money you have left over needs to go straight into your savings account. But for me, obviously, because I'm really focused now on paying off my student loans, I already have an emergency fund set aside. So I don't really need to worry about putting money into savings anymore. Where I'm actually going to be putting all my extra money is going to be into my student loan payments. That's actually going to increase the student loan amount by the amount that I have left over. So now I am expecting to put about $2,800 towards my student loans this month, and I shouldn't have any money left over. So that's how I do my budget for each month. That's really all I do. And that's what I really recommend you guys do, is just really keep in mind what your goal for saving is. Even if you're just saving for an emergency fund, keep that goal in mind every single time you get paid, and realize that at the end of the day, you are paying yourself by withholding that money from yourself to spend it on something stupid right now. So that's basically all my tips for when it comes to saving money in college. Those are the things that I recommend you guys do in order to really work on building up your savings fund. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I know it's a little bit confusing and weird, but that's basically how I do it. Hey guys, the camera actually died in the middle of me recording and I didn't even realize it, but hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already. I have new videos coming out every Sunday, like I always say. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.